Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Monga. It's back. F1 is back. After the Bahrain testing that happened last week and it ended, we are almost on the cusp of the first qualifying, and we almost have, or we know what's going to happen. How the first Bahrain qualifying is going to go in some ways, because the FP1s and the FP2s have happened, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to go back a week and give you a very quick preview of what really happened in the testing, and what my take is. I'm going to do a separate video from predictions. Hopefully I can do it before the qualifying starts, and I'll hold that to myself to basically know how I fared and how my predictions went. But jumping into testing, it was it was pretty weird to kind of see some newcomers, some old guns kind of going back. But then just to walk you through, Fernando Alonso, he's making Formula One more exciting. Than the 41-year-old did the most laps in the testing. He did 270 laps on his own, covering a distance of 1,461 kilometers. Nick De Vries, number 2nd for 246. Logan Sargent, number 3. But what's concerning, like that's the top 3, but then it's testing. So you don't know what the run setups are, what they're running. They're running low fuel, high deg. What the tires, like how do they kind of set up the car? Is it for looking for understeer? Is it looking for oversteer? And the cornering, and what kind of data is the team gathering to kind of go forward? And that's kind of the things that you realized when you're when it's testing. You don't really know what to make of these numbers. But then I would really say that reliability during the testing overall has been amazing. There was only one red flag caused by an Alfa Romeo, I think, but then there have been some issues in the garage, some electrical, some hydraulic leaks and stuff that can be filled or fixed in the garage, but then nothing that affected the testing, and that's amazing. Like, so breaking the testing pattern, 8.5 hours of testing with a 1 hour lunch break for 3 days. That's the idea. And this is the limited running. So earlier there were supposed to be in Barcelona. So earlier what would happen is there will be a testing in Barcelona, but then there'll also be testing around winter. So no cap on testing time and stuff and so on. But then that Formula One did a great job there. I really am in support of this, because it kind of is like, it's also the fact that it's winter time, so you can't kind of get in the car, kind of start moving. It's all simulation or simulator work, and your correlation with your digital twin of your car to the actual is pretty interesting to see in the during the testing. But but it's only so small, right? You can't cover for everything if you found a deviation from that correlation. But the idea is 3 days, 8.5 hours, 1 hour lunch break, and go just keep testing, getting the car in the right sweet spot that you feel is the best thing for you to kind of run. And it's hard, because it's almost saying like, it's almost getting into a football match or any other sport without even practicing for anything, and but just kind of physically going to the gym, and then you do the sport. So it's but then I'm a fan. It's basically because it allows sustainability to come into the Formula One paddock and Formula One in general. It's not about like you throw money at a problem. It's an engineering game. It's basically cars, mechanics, physics. It's an engineering understanding with how to move forward. Quickly running through what the numbers look like. As you can see behind me, you can still read it as well. Like, most gained versus 2022 was Williams. It's pretty interesting to see that Alpine is down there with basically they've added more time to their previous time. But then I feel as Alpine has been sandbagging, another concept which basically says they've not shown their true pace and true power of the car yet. But it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And also the fact that the fastest laps were set by Red Bull Racing. No surprise there. But then I think a lot of teams have been sandbagging there. Then I really feel Aston Martin one of those who's not kind of shown their true potential, and be interesting to see them in the qualifying later today. But yeah, the most number of laps done was AlphaTauri, Williams number second, Ferrari number third, and from the bottom, McLaren was the only team that had issues, a lot of issues regarding their winglets and the aerodynamic parts that they were kind of fixing because of they've made it too light, they're breaking apart, they had to put duct tape and stuff and so on. So I'm a little concerned about McLaren, but then if I say overall testing, it was amazing to watch these cars back on the grid. Red Bull doing what Red Bull does, Mercedes, of course, being more happy about the fact that they're not kind of porpoising or bouncing as crazy as they were in the last year. So they've made some gains. So they'll be a force to reckon with as well. I presume. Alfa Romeo, I think it's going to be a pretty midfield battle for them. They lost a lot of momentum last season after kind of showing a lot of promise early on. I think it was due to the technical advancement or development that they were kind of fighting against other teams like McLaren and Aston Martin and Alpine as well. They just kind of dropped the ball on development and they kind of, I think, waited. So I think this year should be better. Ferrari, definitely new team principal and new car. It looks amazing. The car looks really good. I've already done a video about the Formula One, the Ferrari launch, the SF23. It's amazing. It's a beast. It's a beautiful car. And I'm looking forward to Ferrari kind of actually challenging Red Bull directly for this championship this season. I'm hopeful Charles Leclerc or Carlos Sainz, in my opinion, could be also winning the drivers' championship. Let's see. Running down the pecking order, we have Haas, who had a pretty simple run. Did no issues. Nico Hülkenberg doing 196 laps, along with Kevin Magnussen, who clocked in 219. So I would say it's more sailor head. So it's done well. They've done well. No issues with them. Aston Martin, of course, with what was the issue is the fact that Lance Stroll was not available in the testing. He has allegedly had an accident, a biking accident, and missed all of the testing. So it's going to be a very big learning curve for him when he comes back for the Formula One season that begins today. But Filip Drogovic was amazing. He felt like won with the car, no issues. Did 170 laps in the 3 days. Fernando Alonso picking up the most laps, 270, but then he's the number one driver, I would say. Not the number one driver, but then he's the main driver who's going to drive. There was still a lot of kind of talk about if Felipe will be driving the Formula One car in Bahrain. But it seems to be, or like all the rumors have been put to bed after Lance and the team announced Lance will be driving in the Bahrain Grand Prix after fixing his wrists, which were injured during the accident. Moving to McLaren, not an upbeat Formula One testing for them, I would say. They have had a lot of positives earlier. I think this is one of those testings where they've kind of fallen behind. Of course, you have to remember a lot of changes that have happened in off track that has kind of, or might also be kind of affecting the new team principal. Daniel Ricciardo has left. They've got a new rookie who they had to fight for in the contract arbitration court. So it's a lot off track thing happened. Lando Norris has been pretty quiet, 142 laps only in the testing. Oscar Piastri on the other hand, 170. But then he's a rookie that everybody wanted to kind of be in Formula One, and now it's his time to shine. It's going to be very interesting to see how this goes forward. Talking about Williams, Logan Sargent did the third highest number of laps around Bahrain, along with the experienced Alex Albon, right? And that was kind of the thing. He did 210 laps, Logan Sargent 229. It's been a long time that Williams didn't have a lot of surrounded by a lot of uncertainty when doing testing. It was a pretty boring run plan, simple run plans. They did a good job. But it's going to be interesting where they land up with the pecking order is. Of course, knowing James Vowles is now the team principal. He's looking for a technical director as well, so that's going to be very interesting to kind of see how they kind of move forward with this. And last but not the least, Alpine. They have been very quiet. I'm surprisingly concerned about it. It's a French outfit. They've had another changes, they've had a host of changes. They finished 4th last season, the best of the rest. But they've been so quiet. Maybe they're completely sandbagging the program and the progress that they've made. You could feel that's the case with Esteban Ocon, and Esteban Ocon do 178 laps in total, along with the French driver 175 by Pierre Gasly. So, but then timings were pretty weird as well to see Esteban Ocon doing. He didn't hit the 130s at all. He was always on a 134, 133, 133. The 3 days, Gasly 134, 133, 132. I'm talking about times on the lap times. I'm going the second spot, just kind of covering up the major ones. But that's kind of that's how the days ended. Of course, topping the best time was eventually and the best time for the whole 3 days was Sergio Perez, who did 1:33.05. That was the best time. Lewis Hamilton, and then next, and then all the drivers kind of trying to run on the day 3, trying to run the race simulation in a way for the Bahrain Grand Prix, which is happening this weekend. Overall testing was perfect. I think they should get away with testing. They should leave the testing and just go into a race, and just that will make it more exciting. Because reliabilities have improved a lot. It is a challenge for the driver to get into the car and kind of then tweak it, but then that can be accommodated somewhere in the season. I would say that'll be more exciting to watch if he just had direct racing, than just kind of starting off with an F1 testing as well. But then, well, what do I know? I love F1 testing. I love Formula One on this. I love the whole hour built around you, and how relaxed things are. You're not chasing lap times. You're not back to back into qualifying. Then you're thinking about the race and stuff and so on. It's a little more getting understanding of what car is behaving how, and blah blah blah. So it's amazing to watch, by the way. But in my opinion, if this reliability is so strong every season, I think I'll get bored and possibly just want to watch a race immediately. But, well, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the Formula One testing? I know I'm a little late, but then your comments will be appreciated to know what's happening, how you've been feeling, what you feel who you feel has made the most. These lap times can be very elusive right now in the testing. We are not really that far from the first qualifying. We've seen the FP1 and FP2 sessions already from the Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. Hope to see you there, and I will definitely be doing a video for predictions and the qualifying, post-qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix. But do look out for my video for prediction. That's something really specially planned for that one, and catch you in the next one.